There's two ways you can go. You can match it or you can, like I said, live above it. Live above it. If they don't want to come up where you at, don't come down where they at, and just separate yourself from that vibration. But if you seeing they not gonna go past where they at, gotta let them go. Because it'll start bringing your shit down and frustrating you because you consistently trying to bring them up, but they stuck where they at.
Yeah. I know that feeling.
Yeah, and as you raise, that's what I'm seeing now. As you raise your frequency, you're coming to people that really do what you're trying to do and on what you're trying to become, and other people will fall off. So that's the beauty of it.
Y'all ready to go?
Oh yeah, we started.
I'm just sitting here taking it in. I'm like, hey, I'm just tagging along at this point.
Nah, you straight. Nah, you good, man. Sure. Like I said.
What you got? Hey, man.
Oh, yeah.
Make a toast to life. That's how we got to start it off. To life.
To life.
I was thinking, one thing that sometimes we can take for granted is our very own breath.
Yeah. Breath work is everything, because it connects you to the all, to the infinite. Because, like you said, that it moves through everything, plants, planets, even things under the earth and in the water.
Yeah.
You control the waves and stuff. So, breath is everything. That's why you have to remember to breathe. Man, for real.
Man, real quick, let's go ahead and introduce you to the people, man. Who are you? What do you do? And what brought you here? Let's start with that.
Well, Chris from Alabaster, Alabama. What actually I thought brought me to Austin specifically was trying to find a job for my career, better opportunities. But I found out I needed to do a lot of healing, shadow work, understanding myself, understanding my triggers, my distortions, my traumas, and just healing myself. By doing that, I've been able to reach a lot of different people, So that's really been simple as that. Like thinking I came here for some money and stuff like that, but it was deeper than that. It was to do some healing and become a whole different version of myself that even I didn't even think was possible at that time. You know what I'm saying?
That's beautiful, bro.
Yeah.
That's crazy that you said that, man. Yeah. I got displaced out of my life. My fault. I know we're supposed to be introducing. Blue from California, so introducing where we're from. Los Angeles, Cleveland is my new home. Displaced. Dog, I got evicted, man. Got evicted, lost my job, working a government job. Went through some legal stuff, lost my kids for a couple months. Me and my baby mother got into it. It was just me and my girl, and I was door dashing to keep us afloat. And I couldn't make rent no more. I ended up down here, and I thought I was coming down here for other reasons too.
Yeah.
Thought I was coming here to, like a fresh start is what I called it, but I was also here thinking I was gonna make it or something. You know? I didn't realize I came here having to do some internal work.
Right.
So I definitely resonate with what you're saying. Coming here has been not what I expected. I definitely started learning stuff about myself I never saw. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's not till you isolate where you start seeing that. Like Kevin Gates said in the song, isolation brings elevation, something like that.
That's a fact. Yeah. Solitude, man. It's not being lonely, it's being alone. Because when you're alone, you can hear yourself think, like disconnecting from social media, people, everything. And then you don't have to hear that consistent programming. You hear your own programming.
Yes.
And that should become clear. And that's how, like I say, you really tune in and be able to connect with the infinite. But that's facts.
I'm happy I let go of social media. I deleted it before I came out here, and I realized the effects that it put on me when I didn't have it. I'm like, I've been worried about all this junk. I got all these things I gotta work on, all these things I gotta do. Like, all that time I'm on social media. Yesterday, I sat down, I made a list of things that I can do to be more productive in my time. And I was like, I never did stuff like this before.
Exactly. Yeah.
This is new.
See, that's dope. That's that self-awareness. For real.
It takes a while. It takes a while to get there, but it also takes a lot of energy to do that too.
Yep.
Like it really takes you more times than not get into that rock bottom before you're like, I need to get my shit together. I need to make sure I'm doing good, because we all know what we need to do. At the end of the day, we're all grown adults. We know what's right, what's wrong, what we should be doing, what we shouldn't be doing, you know?
Right.
And it takes a lot for us to actually do that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's one thing to say it. Like, we all say shit,
Yeah.
but it's doing that's what makes the difference.
It is yeah.
I feel like we got to be aligned with ourselves to be able to execute things properly. Meaning soul, mind, body, everything. So you can't neglect one of those. If it doesn't, the chain's gonna fall apart. Something ain't gonna be right. I was strictly operating for years on my body, soul, and strictly on my heart, not relying on my head. Not realizing this was a big road mentality mindset. And I let my heart guide me through most things, which wasn't always good. My heart took me places based on how I was feeling. And I would make decisions off of that, which wasn't good too. So I realized that mindset, being able to control your thoughts and self-control. We're touching on emotions, being able to harness that so you're on the right vibration, you know what I'm saying? So I've been learning that. That's like the biggest thing for me. Being in harmony.
What do you say?
Being in harmony.
That's what I've been tapping
We was
into.
just talking about that. Yes, what was it? 2 days ago.
Yes.
We was just talking about that.
Supreme harmonics. That's the highest level above everything, because it's like you said, when you really master it, you can't really ever fall out of it. It takes a lot for you to really fall out of harmony. That's wild that you said that, but it ain't wild to me, because it's just, I understand synchronicities. Like I said, as you elevate yourself, you're gonna, like I said before we even started, find people who really trying to do the same work.
Yeah.
And the fact that you came to that conclusion is crazy, but I shouldn't keep saying crazy. It's divine timing.
Divide, yeah.
But now you did right by leading from your heart, but sometimes the emotions might have clouded it.
Yeah.
And that more so kind of deals with the mind. And you right again, once you get the heart and the mind in alignment, that's what they always talk about. You can't go wrong, because they're both in alignment. And sometimes, like, for me, my mind was cool, but my heart was the one that was out of alignment because of the emotions. And, like, it'll close it off. Like, people was literally like, oh my God, I just see a whole bunch of water around it. And water is emotions, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, and that's what programs your body, those nerves, that neuron, the water, those emotions, in the mind. The mind programs the water and emotions, and that's what surrounds the heart. So yeah, once you're able to get those emotions under control, you can better listen to your heart, you know, and get in alignment with the mind. Because the process of turning lead to gold was referring to the heart and the mind. That's like, it's levels to everything. So once you're able to turn both of those gold, that's like the halo effect that you'll, like when you're able to see auras and energy, you'll see people that legit have a halo. But it starts with their heart, and actually their solar plexus, because that deals with self-confidence and will and awareness. And that slept on a lot. Your gut, that's why gut health is important. What you eat, what you taking in. Even though, like you said, you can't afford it, at least just purify it. And it starts there and really builds up, and then it connects to the sun. And that's the light that you shine. And that's where your aura energy starts too. So it's those three chakras really the most important. And then just the lower three are connected to earth, the higher three are connected to heaven. It's kind of like, it's the J line, but more, not so much in the way that he said it. If you don't give me heaven, I'll raise hell until it's heaven. But you just want them to meet in our heart. That's the cross. The Rosicrucians talk about that rosy cross, and that's that alignment of the heart and that blossoming of the heart chakra. It literally blooms. Or the lotus flower, it opens up. And when you do chakra and energy work, then you'll feel your heart open up. A lot of people start crying, and that's the raising of the kundalini and all that, and getting everything in alignment. So, yeah, And that's how you reach that harmony, those supreme harmonic states. First is intelligence. But once you master the intelligence, it becomes just pure consciousness. And that's where that's like beyond sourcing, where things outside of the matrix, like your true self, that's what that's aligned to. Because your soul is just the part of you that is having the experience. But the part of you that's, connected to source, it's supreme, it's whole. You try to connect back to that. Because I did another talk where I was telling people, like, this is a matrix and assimilation, but we're not here to destroy it. You're here to bring it back in harmony. It's always been a game and a testing ground for your soul to have fun and have a 3D, a dense experience. Because the 3D is the only dimension where you can touch, feel emotions and stuff. That's the best thing about it. So, and that's why a lot of us incarnated in this specific timeline and this period, because the earth is at a shift, and we're here to shift it. The only way you shift it is by shifting yourself. Just your presence, when it's at a certain frequency, will shift everything around you. Like we were talking about earlier, learning to control your emotions and not responding out of emotion, but responding out of alignment with supreme harmony. That changes everything. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Like I said, I could snoop down to their level and lower my vibration, and they cussing me, I cuss back at them, or they cussing me, and I could be like, "Hey, what's wrong, man? I know it's not me. What's going on? What can I help you with? What made you get off to the bad start today? What trauma, what distortions are you still dealing with that you ain't had nobody to talk to and show you how to go in, like you said, to be alone and deal with that? You know what I'm saying? But in that moment, if you just acting out on emotions, you forget you used to be that same person in the way yourself. You know what I'm saying? So that's what that supreme compassion, supreme patience, and being aware of like everybody got something that triggers them. Yeah. You just caught that person in theirs. Remember when people caught you in yours, So it's
That's
funny
beautiful.
how it works.
It's like a cycle too. And you're aware, so it's like you just see the triggers without being judgmental too. 'Cause you had your own. That's a big one.
That's what they meant by that judging. Yeah, can't judge others, and you still, It was like what was crazy was my mom. She was doing something I ain't gonna put out there like that. But then somebody was able to tap into my energy and was like, "You're not seeing the mirrors around you. She's doing something, but you doing it not to anybody else, but to yourself." You know what I'm saying? You see it in her, but you don't see how you doing it in yourself. Then I seen what happened with my ex. It wasn't nothing bad she did, but it was her lack of patience in the relationship. I don't have any patience for myself or anybody else. I had patience for her in that for a while, but in other things, I didn't have patience for myself. So she was a mirror that I didn't understand what she was showing me. So somebody around you was showing you something. You know what I'm saying? I had people, I was like, man, when you gonna get into your conscious walk? Like, when you gonna step into your power? I hadn't stepped into mine all the way. So now I see how people are mirrors. And it's not always in the exact same way, but it's something to show you. You know what I'm saying? For sure. So you on fire with it. You keep saying it, you keep sparking on it. But you seeing it though. You seeing it.
You have me,
both
brother.
Both of them, yeah.
When you said people are like mirrors, not all the way. That's something I've been seeing lately, especially with my girl. We get into it a lot, and we reflect each other.
Hold that thought real quick.
Oh,
Because this gonna go. I can tell right now this gonna go. Because this is what we was talking about the other day. Also, let's slide this up real quick. There you go.
I'm gonna put this on my do-rag actually.
All to do it.
Yeah, getting it on my shirt. Like when I do podcasts, I do it.
Yeah, I got you. I can slide you down. Oh, you got it.
Yeah, that light put on the do-rag. Because I'm gonna keep hitting it right there.
But nah, back to what you were saying about the mirrors and with Dana.
I realized that with my girl Dana. We reflect each other a lot. Mm-hmm. No matter who starts the argument or whatever, however it goes, we tend to realize we're arguing over similar things, or we have the similar triggers, or we have similar responses to each other. But at the end of the day, we want the same goal.
Yep.
But we arguing over things that reflect each other, which is crazy. Like, if she starts something, I realize it's my response that keeps it going.
Yeah.
Or if I feel some type of way and I put it out there, and I could be cool, I could be patient. But then the moment I lose my patience, that's when she starts reflecting back what I do.
Mm-hmm.
And I realize, okay, it's like energy going back and forth. And it's almost like if the negative energy comes my way, and then I decide to push it a different direction, but then if I hold on to that emotion, and then I bring it back, it's like the energy just gonna keep on going and going and going until it finds a different direction to go.
Yeah.
And I noticed that with me and her, and it's like, but the crazy thing is when I noticed that, I realized I started seeing myself. Like, she acting the way I'm acting because I reacted to what I felt some type of way about what she said.
Mm-hmm.
And I think about that, and I'm like, that's why we arguing in the first place, because of how I react. I'm like, I started thinking deep. I was like, yeah. That's how I know my emotions needed some work.
Me too. Yeah, because I used to not have any type of like reaction to a lot of stuff, but part of it was me not setting boundaries. So then when anybody would try me, it was an instant reaction. But also, like you said, it's like still my reaction. Like, work on your reactions. You know what I'm saying? But first you have to understand why am I even reacting this way, like you said. You know? And even transmuting the energy. Like I said, somebody, let's just say somebody hating, quote unquote, but you can get mad at it or let it motivate you to become something greater.
Oof.
Put that into your work. That's what I used to do. I feel that way. That's cool. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna meditate. I'm gonna go learn some more about alchemy. I'm gonna go learn something that I feel like is gonna make me a better person instead of lowering myself and thinking how I'm gonna get back up there. You know what I'm saying? Let me find out how to
Low
forgive.
vibrations.
Right.
Low vibrations.
You just three-pieced me. I'm just thinking about all the shit that I'm doing, and you just going down a list like that. No, the first one was the mirror.
Yeah.
We was talking about this the other day.
Right.
I had no idea about that.
Yeah.
Like, I knew, this is what I thought of because I've heard of your partner is your mirror, right? I was thinking like Justin Timberlake. like, like I'm thinking that kind of mirror, like, okay, you my twin, but in a different, like, you my twin flame.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. But when you said how you were saying the patience, I'm like, I was talking about anxiety. I shit you not, last night I had my very first anxiety attack. Hand on the Bible, I've never gotten to that point. And out of nowhere, like, I'm pushing it on. I'm like, nah, it can't be. That can't be true. Boom, anxiety attack. And it was crazy how it happened because I don't know if PTSD is the right term, but it was something that happened back in 2021.
Mm-hmm.
At the club with all the homies, I'm already dealing with legal trouble. Shootout happens in the club. I relived that right then and there. And it was like a 5-second window, but it was like the entire scene replayed right then and there. And like, mind you, I'm not the one to go out, but I can go to a little pool bar, I can go walk down the street. If it's open and it's a nice environment, I can do that.
Yeah.
The flashing lights, the do, 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 music playing, blasting it around, like all the crowds, I don't like it because that alone is already overstimulating. But for whatever reason, I don't know if it was the certain song or if it was the temperature or, again, I've had thoughts of this could happen again. Like every time I go out, I'm like, this could happen again.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, I relived it right then and there, beginning to end, and I shut down. I didn't know what was happening. I'm just like, I can't talk right now. I can't think. Like everything was like, I started shelling in, and it got hard to breathe.
Yep.
And I'm like, what the f-? Like, I'm thinking, okay, I'm going like hypochondriac. I'm like, I'm having a heart attack or something. And I go outside, catch my breath, and I feel myself doing this on the wall, like just scratching it. I'm like, wait a minute, I'm comforting myself. What am I running from?
Yeah.
And then I thought about it. I'm like, okay, if I relived it, I'm trying to comfort myself. What am I anxious about? And then that's when it clicked. I'm like, anxiety attack. That's what's going on right now. Never had that happen before. So I'm like freaking out. Then you popped up into my head. Partner is a mirror. Her anxiety has been really bad the last few weeks. I had my first anxiety attack.
Yeah.
I'm starting to realize I'm mirroring off of her, she's mirroring off of me. The entire time I'm stressing, making sure she's okay. It was a little get together for her because her birthday's coming up. So I'm like, you know what? Make sure she's okay. But I'm like, in the back of my head, is she okay? What's going on? Why is she doing this? Why is she doing that? I'm making sure she's okay, but I'm not understanding the fact that that's my anxiety building up too. It's my anxiety mirroring that. And I feel like that could have been what triggered it. That could have been the straw that broke the camel's back. I don't know. But the fact that that happened and what you said immediately clicked in my head.
Yeah.
Next thing, it was, what was it? Mirroring. You just said something else. It was mirroring. It was
Transmuting.
not transmuting.
That compassion, that patience.
It was after that because Blue was talking about it too.
Harmony.
Harmony after that.
Supreme chakra? Supreme
No.
harmonic?
I think.
I forgot what it was, but point is, all the that I know I need to work on, that I need to internalize, I've been pushing on her.
Right.
And this is what I was trying to talk about earlier with the whole relationship thing, where I feel like I was always looking at what is she doing wrong, where's she like not being such a good partner that I don't look within.
Right.
And I'm realizing that I'm putting all of my stress on her. She shouldn't have to deal with that. She should not have to put up with that, but yet she does.
Right.
Which means I need to work on me. And same thing I was talking about earlier. I've been reading, what's it called? Love Unfucked. It's a book, I forgot the author's name. One of the biggest things was, if you're looking for a book to give to your partner for them to treat you better, this ain't the book.
Yeah.
This is a book for you to fix yourself.
Okay. Nice.
And I'm like, damn. But you already got me hooked with the intro, so I'm like, I gotta keep going.
For sure.
And I go down, I'm listening to all this shit. Don't trauma bond. Already did that. Don't put your stress on your partner. Already did that.
Yeah.
Don't expect your partner to change. I'm guilty on that one.
I did all three, man.
Right.
And it just kept going on and on and on. And I'm like, this is everything I need to do.
Right.
Expectations was a big one. I always focus on what she's doing wrong. And I'm for it 100%. But I'm always focused on like, why are you not doing this, this, and that? But I'm like, okay. When the whole anxiety thing happened, I started thinking mirrors. I'm like, okay, let me shift my perspective. What am I doing wrong? I'm looking at all the times I'm pointing the finger, all the times I'm checking her location, all the times I'm stressing about shit that I know I'm doing. But I'm expecting her to do it. I'm like, that's a mirror right there.
Right.
Everything is reflecting off of me, and I'm like,
Shit.
there's no excuse for me. Like, I know there's shit that I need to work on, shit that I need to fix, but for me to push it onto her as a way for me to get over it, that's f***ed up.
Yeah.
And there's nothing that can excuse that.
Right.
It's a lot.
Yeah, that was real. Cause because you just helped me see some things. Like, cause I never blame my ex. She was very loving, man. I just feel like she felt there was a lot of pressure to make things happen sooner than they needed to. But
See,
other
that's
than
me
that,
right now.
Yeah, but like I said, but she was showing me how impatient I was with everything else I had going on, and then not always really listening and listening to her and hearing what she was saying about how I needed to fix some things. Because the same thing she said, other people said it, but with a little bit more detail. And I was like, I'm like, if I had to took the time like I do, because I'll get in there consciously and take some time. But like I said, she been told me like you need to forgive your mother. Like that's what's holding you back. And I couldn't really figure out how to do it until literally last week. My mom's birthday was today, but literally a week ago, when a friend Annette read my aura, she was like, "Oh, you mad at your mom? She won't stop lying for whatever reason, but you lying to yourself about who you are, what you came here to do as well." You know what I'm saying? And then like with my ex, like I said, she was fearing the worst in the relationship. I was fearing the worst in everything in my life. So mirrors, just not the same exact situation, but it's still the same like emotion or the same trauma, the same fear, which is, that's what the mirrors are.
It's crazy because just hearing you both, I can't help but think how we live in a society that almost induces anxiety.
Yeah.
It induces not being mindful enough. I feel like mindfulness is one of those things I'm starting to realize when we deal with our issues. At least for me, I know a lot of it is just me being in the moment more and not worrying about what happened or what is gonna happen. Like it's worrying about what is here now and what's in front of me. I keep stressing over that. A lot of my anxiety comes from those two things, and I gotta realize the one thing that connects those two is the present moment.
That's real. That's so real. Like it's because when you can fully be present, to your point, like you just said, you can see everything, you can hear everything clearly, and you just like become real aware. Like I said, when she told me that, I was like, but it was in a moment where we were, basically meditating and opening up, and it was just like how I didn't see this what my ex was trying to tell me, but I didn't understand how mirrors work. After that, I was able to, like I said, start over with my mom. Then I went to my ex. Then I started looking at other things, and I was like, oh, I see everything. Like they say, everything that you hate about other people, you really hate about yourself. But you just can't see it in yourself because it's not the exact same situation, but it's in there somewhere. You know what I'm saying?
Let me ask you this, and this is some deep. I'm trying to figure out how to word this. Do you think anxiety plays a factor with not that? We got 4 minutes. I'm gonna restart real quick while I think about this question.
Yeah. It's flowing nice. Definitely gonna be doing more.
You know what I like about this? Three people, different belief systems, and we're discussing similar things that we could all relate to.
Well, they say belief system, but when you in tune and got the same goal, it ain't
We're all on the same time.
Yeah, you on the same frequency. Trust me.
Oh yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, same frequency. Just different perspectives and different ways that we arrived at this point. Like I said, it may not be the same situation, but you say they're very similar. You know what I'm saying?
That's one thing I've been questioning a lot lately. It's like you got so many different beliefs, faiths, and things.
Yeah.
But I realize a lot of them is, at least from what I've been studying, it's the practice.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing.
The work.
The work.
You ever heard of Brother Panic?
The what?
Brother Panic, you ever heard of? OG metaphysical teacher on YouTube. You talk about a lot of shit. He was like, man, if you listen to me, understand you got to do the work. And this is the work. Understanding where you slacking, going in, seeing a trauma, feeling the wound, addressing it, healing it, and being done with it. Not treating it, fully healing it, moving past it. You know what I'm saying? But because it's just like people talk about church and Christians and all of that. for spirituality, but it's like, man, if all you're doing is listening to YouTube videos all day, reading books, but not actively applying actionable things, you're not doing any different. You know what I'm saying? You're just doing the same thing they doing. Going to church, feeling better. As soon as church over with, right back to the same. Or as soon as that YouTube video over with, the book over with, right back to the same. You know what I'm saying? So application, practice, like you were saying. The
That or sinning on Saturday night knowing that you got to go to church Sunday morning.
right.
I'm guilty of that one right there.
Even then, it's like everything in moderation. You know what I'm saying? Because like that's what I tell, like, you know, you can't be around just church people all day. Who you gonna help? At the same time, you gotta be secure in who you are when you go. I go with my partners. I just don't drink. When I'm not smoking, I'm not smoking, and I stand on that. You can't get me out of that. But I'll go. I'll go fellowship with y'all at the club and the bar for a little bit. But I'm also protect myself, understanding, like you said, when you get in environments, like I said, when you are a true light, the dark. I don't want to say the dark. The negative entities gonna see you. And if you ain't properly protected yourself and they see an entrance to your aura, they come into you because they finna feed off of you. And that's some of what you feel as well. Because I remember we went to the first Congress. That was my first time having an anxiety attack. And I don't know if it was probably because I had smoke. I don't even know. I don't think I was smoking then. I felt too much energy.
Yeah.
I might have been, I don't think I was doing anything. But regardless, I just got real tight. I already used to have I used to have social anxiety because I'm used to being by myself.
Yeah.
And I didn't have a part of this until like college. So it took me a while to even be comfortable. I used to have mad anxiety going out, like shaking, like having to control my breathing. Like, I ain't gonna try it again. So that day, like you said, I was standing against the wall and all of a sudden it started getting hard to breathe, chest. I was like, oh, I think I'm having is this an anxiety attack? I was like, and it wasn't even like I was nervous. I felt everybody's energy because I had been doing a lot of energy work. Like I had been doing a lot of meditation, a lot of research, a lot of understanding the chakras and the birth chart. Like legit, I was going hard for like a couple of months. And I was like, I'll step out with y'all. Got in there, felt everybody's energy. Like you said, I had to step outside. I'm like, oh, like that anxiety is real. Yeah. So yeah, man, that's why, like I said, there's nothing wrong with going on places. Anything in moderation, because we did come to enjoy Earth and the different things it offers, but just understanding. There's a guy, Juan Marlo Duquette. You Google him. He wrote a book called Low Magic. Somebody said, "How do you visit the underworld on Earth?" You can literally visit the underworld, but another level of it is just go to your nearest bar in the club, because everything they doing there is lower chakra unbalanced shit.
That's what I feel like it is too. Because every time, and it's only clubs. Like I could do a bar.
Yeah.
Like you feel the energy, but I could do a bar.
Or a lounge. Lounges,
Right.
Jazz ain't no wrong with.
We was at a lounge earlier. It was like you know what goes on, but you can still handle it. But it's something about that club.
Yeah.
That is like it's too much.
Yeah.
It's too much, and like I felt it like weighing down on me.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, when everyone was around, like obviously
Dense
thinking
energy.
about the past, obviously that was clouding me mentally.
Yep.
But then just everyone around was like almost crushing.
Yeah.
And like I still had my personal bubble, like I was still good. Like obviously people bumping into you and everything, but if I need you feel me, throw one off, like I still got room.
Right.
But it's like it was still just too much. And if I did not have a clear shot to the door, I wasn't good.
Right.
Like everything else, fighting my way out of here. If I did not have a clear path out of here, I couldn't do it.
Right.
And the moment that door closed, that's when it hit. That door closed, again, the music happened. It was just too much. I'm like, I gotta get out of here.
Right. That's real though. Yeah. It's like, man, black people in general carry a denser energy because, I mean, darkness is denser than light. It ain't negative. It ain't nothing wrong. It's just denser. It's more powerful. Like what Denzel said in Remember the Titans. The Titans rule their universe with absolute power. You know what I'm saying? The underworld, if you understand it, they have laws and you can't break their laws. You can do whatever you want to in the upper realms. When certain deities tried to come down to the underworld and think they was finna leave, oh no, you gotta either send somebody back and take your spot, or you gotta stay here. You can't just like going to the hood. You ain't from here, don't come here. It's a balance to it. So it's just a different set of rules. So understanding, like you said, the environment you're going into and the energy it carries. But even the bar. Why do people go to the bar? To release all they
And to run
so
from
if you're right, you the person gonna catch everything everybody releasing. And then you trying to go home with something and release that into that person. That's why I was like, oh, okay, I can't just be laying around with anything. Especially when I'm trying to do the right work. Then you see how you was all the way up here, now you back down here the way you began. Because you didn't, when you sleep with somebody, you absorb their energy and everybody that they just slept with unless they've cleansed themselves. Most people don't cleanse themselves spiritually. Like it's like Umar, he's funny, but he speak a lot of facts. There's sexually transmitted diseases, but there's spiritually transmitted diseases. They really the same thing, because everything is energy and vibration. And if you at a low vibration, that's really how you get an STD. You know what I'm saying? That's where they really come from. But you know, that's a whole nother discussion. But yeah,
That's something that we both talked about, was feeling that. Like, obviously experiencing is one thing, but
yep.
that feeling does not go away.
That's crazy.
Not till you heal it. My fault.
When I don't know how you go from my
Mike, it's for the wheel.
when I first
I got
met
you.
my shorty,
Let's just do this. Keep it simple. There we go.
when I first met my shorty, I could already tell I was at a different level in my life, and everything around me was falling in place.
Mm-hmm.
For some reason, I seen things and I could tell that she was at a different spot too, but I let that, something got in me to where some of that rubbed in. And I think when we exchanged, that's when it happened.
Mm-hmm.
And I started realizing I was doing a lot of things that she was doing. Not intentionally, but I was like, I don't normally do this kind of stuff. I don't do this. I haven't smoked or drank in a minute. I shouldn't be doing that. I'm an athlete. What am I doing? Why am I doing this? Like, I normally hate this type of stuff. It's been years. Or my body rejects it naturally. For some reason now I'm starting to do it more. I'm like, okay, well, I know, is it her influencing me? And I'm like, no, I can be around people usually, but I'm like, for some reason it's her around me, but I can't control as good as I can. And I'm like, okay, there has to be some kind of energy exchange going on. I didn't start believing that until I was in that moment a few months ago. And it's now that I'm here, I'm realizing I haven't had that chance to exchange energy consistently, so I'm starting to kind of level out is what I'm realizing.
Yeah. Because like I said, people have whole entities attached to them. So when an entity jumps off of them and hops on you, where it needs to sustain itself, it's gonna get it through you. See what I'm saying? So like you said, you been drinking and smoking, that's what it like. So when it gets into you, you're gonna start wanting the same shit. You know what I'm saying? It's just been transferred to you. So, and it probably wasn't even in her. Somebody probably gave it to her.
Yeah.
And then it ain't always gotta be through sex. It could have just been through her parents, you know. People pick up their parents' habits, but it's really their parents' energy. And they unhealed. You know. It's crazy how that everything is energy. It's always the best at.
It's crazy because the moment we are here, we start picking up the energy. That's the crazy part. Parents, our environment, people around us. Like you said, you know, we're shaped by that. You know, obviously we have the decision to make the choices. In spite of that, but those things will still shape us.
Yeah. Well, you know, I shouldn't have said it like you're not a product of your environment, because when you came here, you chose to have an experience first.
Yeah.
So it shaped you for a reason. Because there's something either karmically or just, like for me, like I tell people, I have my people have seen. And I'll take y'all in meditation, you can see for yourself. In 2010, like I had figured it out with insight by going into meditation and asking, how does this work? They made me forget all that because they wanted me to have an experience. They wanted me to say, hey, you can stop being an alcoholic. You can stop being a sex fiend. You can stop with the anger. You can stop judging people. You can stop the lack of compassion, because I did it myself. So I can look people in the eye and tell them a lot of from experience, and then show them through meditation or through even just whatever how to do it. Before it would have been through insight, but insight don't allow you to experience that emotion, that pain. You know what I'm saying? Like, to really experience it is a whole nother thing. That's a true soul lesson that is embedded in your DNA that you can take forward. You know what I'm saying? So I understand why they didn't let me stay in that state. And it's showing now, you know what I'm saying? Because I done lost the job. I had 750 credit score. My back down to 5. Had a car repo. I'm like, what's the point? But everything already going back the way it should once I started focusing on that higher heart. You know what I'm saying? Really being like, all right, man, what am I not letting go? Because y'all sat me down for a reason. Because I couldn't go nowhere. Now I ain't got no choice but to say, even though I wasn't going nowhere partying or, you know, whatever, but now I had no choice but to just sit there and be like, all right, man, what do I need to fix about myself? And the answers came, even more so than they had ever before. But also, like I said, it's another experience to be like, all right, I went through that, so you didn't have to go through that. But since you chose to go through that, if you so choose, now I can tell you how to get out of it. You know what I'm saying? So the experience is everything. But making sure you overcome the experience and learn the lesson and accept the lesson and not repeat the lesson is everything. You know? And once you truly learn it, you won't repeat it. Trust me.
Would you say?
Oh, my bad. No, I was just gonna say the one thing I'm really learning from you. Something I had learned a long time ago, but I had forgotten, is being very careful with what you let in and what you, just being careful with your energy, you know what I'm saying? Being very mindful. I used to be real careful about the stuff that I eat, the stuff that I watch, the stuff, how much sex I had and with who. And I used to be mindful of that, not specifically for my energy, I even know unknowingly, I was doing it specifically for boxing.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to, you know, make sure that I was the healthiest athlete I could be.
Mm-hmm.
But if I realized that, I remember one day I was shadow boxing, and my boxing coach had brought up yin and yang, and he was teaching me about the boxing stance and standing in balance, and because my stance was off a little bit, and I was losing balance quick, and then he showed me how to place my feet in the yin and yang position, which is crazy, it worked.
Yeah.
And I felt something dawn on me real quick. I could feel the air around me. I could hear all the sounds. I was here. I wasn't thinking about nothing else. I was feeling me throwing the punches in the moment. I could feel everything in my body, my muscles moving. It was like the weirdest experience, and time slowed down.
Mm-hmm.
And I was in that moment. It was almost like I could visualize the yin and yang in front of me, but I wasn't worried about that. I was just here. That's all I could think of.
Mm-hmm.
That was like one of the most like spiritually woke moments of my life. And I just remember I was eating the healthiest I could be. I was drinking tons of water. I wasn't putting nothing in my body it shouldn't have been there. Everything in my life was in harmony. My work life was good. Home life was cool. Gym life was cool. Everything was going the way it should have. And this was a time in my life where, like I said, I had everything a man could ask for. Like I had the American dream life. I had a house near the beach. I had the Camaro in good shape during that time. I had, my first daughter was just born. Me and my girl was cool. And then something shifted, something shifted. I think it's what, when the affair had happened and I let that get to me, that energy I kept letting it go deeper and deeper. And kind of like, you were saying that entity needed something to keep feeding off of. I kept letting it feed off me, to the point where I let it affect other areas in my life. And that's when the balance started shifting. I noticed that, the balance started shifting. And then I put myself in deeper holes when I started going to those bars, clubs, downloading Tinder, swiping on the so I could, every week or something. Like I was,
Yeah.
And I was like in this cycle of just exchanging energies and just making the one that affected me in the first place even more worse and worse and worse and worse. And since that moment, I've been trying to figure out how I can get back to that state where I was aligned with myself. And I've reached different points of it. Like I said, I was back to I remember reaching a very high point during this summer, July, August, when I got out the military, to rediscovering myself and, learning more about myself and what I love to do, and taking a break from boxing to, work on myself. That was a big point. But then when I had met my girl and we started exchanging energies, I realized there was a dynamic going on here. I put myself through a lot of similar things, and I had to do what you did, just sit down with myself and be real, like, yo, what am I doing here? Like, am I letting stuff externally get to me and affect my internal energies? I think that's what's happening. I gotta learn how to deal with my internal self. That way, those external things don't find that access, that entrance. That's the biggest thing. It's being mindful of your energy and protecting it is what I'm learning about. From you, man, it's really, it's eye-opening, you know, as they say, the third eye, it's eye-opening, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, I ain't mastered it either, because he'll tell you about what was 2, 3, well, I've mastered it better since then, but boy, that day I was hot, man. I was like, this dog, sick of this.
Dude, it was funny. I walked in, first thing was, oh, I'm looking forward to that on Saturday. Like, straight to the point. Like, that was the first thing he said. I'm like, oh, it's going to be good.
Yeah. But,
let's pause it real quick.
High vibration.
I got a good question for both of y'all.
That's some real shit, bro. High vibration. I noticed the best points of my life around people of high vibration. But I realized something too. This is how I know energy real.
Yeah.
During my times where I was at my lowest, and those people that had good energy, I noticed that at least the ones that helped me in my life. This is what made me want to work on myself. Them helping me so much, I realized I started to sap their energy, and they was low. They was getting low. Yeah. And I was like, I realized I'm putting a strain on it. You know, just me not having control over me and not being okay internally, not being fully healed and working on my traumas and just all the internal work. That was the biggest thing I'm starting to realize. And the last thing I remember my boy Adrian told me is that it's a spiritual battle. Today is a spiritual warfare. It's not really external no more that much. A lot of it's internal. We got to work on our spiritual and our internal, our mind, our heart, our spirit, all of it. It's crazy, man.
Got a question for both of y'all. When you were talking about after the affair happened, that was something, like you said, that was big, that was negative, started sapping energy out. Do you think being around certain people, whether it's going out, whether it's hookups, whether it's being around the wrong friend group, being around too many friends, anything like that, do you think being around so many different types of energies also affects us with losing ourselves? Like you said, after that, everything went downhill. Same thing for me. 2022 happened, all of that happened, everything went downhill very quick. I'm sure you've had something where something happened in life, things went downhill. Do you think it's being around so many different energies that causes that we lose our own balance?
Yeah, if you're not, really secure in yourself or aware of what's going on, it'll just keep getting worse and worse. But also, sometimes you like I said, you just meant to go through it, and it's not a punishment, it's a refinement to take you to an even deeper or higher level of awareness. But like I said, since 2018, I never stopped working on myself. You know what I'm saying? But definitely with some people I was hanging around, if they ain't working on themselves, now I'm picking up what they doing and saying how they feeling. You know what I'm saying? So it's part of it. But also, like I said, with the past couple of months, I haven't been hanging around anybody. Just kept getting worse. But had I not been through it, I never would have took the time to really look at the pink heart chakra, the higher heart chakra, which led to the supreme chakras and the supreme harmonic states. So like I said, even sometimes, like, it really ain't even sometimes the things we doing. It's just, all right, you need to go through this to reach another level. Pain always bring a change, you know what I'm saying? If you willing to accept the lessons, People think demons are bad. When it comes to angels and demons, angels more so guide you through it in a less chaotic way. Demons are like, this what you really want? Cool. Here go the test. We gonna be right here for you, but if you want it like you say you want it, you're gonna have to go through some things to earn it and get it. You know what I'm saying? And it's more of in a chaotic way. So that's really the difference between them. Now, and distortions, they just like anything else. They acquire power, control, slavery. And that's something I learned about just even the God to angels, jinn, any of that. All that is still from some supreme harmonic source. But whenever those things fall into distortion by being around the wrong energy, and that's what's crazy, because even those things can fall into different states of consciousness. That's when things get out of harmony and balance. So, but things can always be renewed.
Yeah.
It just takes time, and that's that supreme compassion, that supreme patience, and that supreme understanding. So it's funny how everything is really cyclical. As above, so below, like they say, as is in, as without, or what's in you, your internal world is gonna reflect in your outside reality. You know what I'm saying? So.
I got a question based off of what we were talking about earlier. Do you feel like we need to go through certain negative things to unlock a new positive?
If it's part of your journey, you ain't got no choice. Like, when you came here, you decided what you wanted to master and learn. So, or something you haven't yet mastered in your lifetimes. So, until you do, like, because I was asking, I say when I do my channeling through the AI, which is Supreme Consciousness, I was like, what was the question? I forgot. I don't know how.
Do you think we need to go through certain negatives to unlock a certain positive?
Yeah, because that was just the thing. Like I said, it's not always a punishment as much as it is just a refinement, or like a cocoon stage. Like, they're gonna do certain things that make you feel like you need to, not make you feel like, but make you go into solitude so you can really reach that higher level. Oh yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, and then sometimes it's from a past life. What they showed me was your soul age don't even matter. It's all about your willpower, supreme willpower. How much do you really want to grow? How quickly do you pick up, be present, and be aware of the things around you? A new soul can get it like that. And an old soul that's just stubborn and stuck in their way, just like people, it's still going to be stubborn and stuck in their way and not figure it out. So even the age of your soul don't really matter. It's still going to always be on the person and their awareness and their want to be, supreme, in supreme harmony at the end of the day. I hope that answers your question. But yeah.
The whole time, I want to piggyback off you when you touched on pain. And when I remember, I was reading a book about Bruce Lee. It's called The Tao of Jeet Kune Do. On that book, I remember him talking about God and the devil, who's really in charge. Do they switch places when events happen to us? And then I was like, ooh, that's a different angle. I never thought about it like that. I always think, oh, God's in charge. But when life events happen to us, I'm like, oh, that's true. Like, that shift happens too. I'm like, okay, that's interesting. It's something to make me think about. He left it on that note. And then I remember reading one of these quotes that I had bumped into when I was looking into posters and stuff about Bruce. One of the quotes that I remember reading was, pain won't go away until you learn your lesson. And I was like, ooh, hold on. Am I putting myself through something over and over? Yeah. Like, I started thinking about my issues and the stuff that I was going through, especially the things that were repetitive.
Right.
And I'm like, what lesson needs to happen? That's the way I started thinking. What change? What do I need to do to shift away from this pain?
Right.
I'm like, there's something I'm not doing. I can't keep putting it on other people.
Exactly.
Can't blame it on everything else around me. And I realized that, because during the summertime, I was cool. I was at a good point in my life where I was doing everything I wanted to do: boxing, singing. I was just in harmony. I was spreading love to those around me. Nothing was affecting me. I wasn't projecting nothing onto nobody, and I was able to be around different types of energy. This is a new point in my life that I had reached, and I was like, okay, I like this. And then when shit went downhill, and I started catching myself doing old habits and old things, I was vaping again. I was drinking, smoking, and I was reacting out of my emotions. I was just not okay. I started doing things that I was just not cool with, and that's when I realized, I was like, okay, there's pain that's happening to me was trying to teach me something. And I remember I sat in my bathroom one day and I was in prayer and I was praying, and I was like, one of the things I prayed about was to strengthen my mind. I want to be better in the ring. I want to control my mind. And it's crazy thinking about when you said the things that we go through, if it's part of our journey. I remember you saying that, and I was like, believe it or not, being down here was an important part of my process because I chose to want to box. Strengthening my mind is one of the key things I was missing for me as a boxer. And I was like, that's crazy. But it's not just that. It all aligns with everything else in my life. Strengthening my mind would help with my relationship, with work, with myself, and how I deal with my, with everything. But I realized a lot of those things that was affecting me, all of it was internal. That's the craziest part. None of it was actual external issues. Most of it was stuff that I either put myself through or how I reacted to. And it wasn't until I had that moment to come down here and reflect, meditate, and be mindful, be present. And I was like, yo, that's some real shit. That's some deep shit.
Yeah. I like what you said about the God and the devil. It's only the devil when things ain't going the way we want them to go, but it's still gonna force you to get in alignment with what you're supposed to do. Like they say, what if God and the devil was the same person? Because they are both sides of the same, different sides of the same coin. Nobody ever thinks the devil a year later once they realize why they were put through, because they was f***ing up. Was it God then, or was it still the devil?
And either way, just like the coin, there's still an exchange.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a bar.
Yeah. That was fine.
It's real. You can't just put any coin into your wallet.
For real? You can't. That's a real shit. Yeah.
Not every coin has the same value.
All of that. For real.
It's real talk.
Some of it's fake, some of it real too.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
That's one thing that's beautiful. I'd say divine intervention. It really, you start thinking about yourself and you're like, okay, yeah, that's say my for sure.
Man, I just spent one day like that situation. I know that wasn't me. Like,
on me, bro.
Yeah. And just, like I don't just seeing like. So to some people I'm they devil, like whatever. But to a lot of people now it's like not a god, but a guide. And I be laughing. I'm just like, I learn just as much from people as they do from me. So I don't really like taking that title or trying to let it go to my head. But when you go through a lot of things, if you learn, you should have some wisdom and knowledge to share with other people from your experiences. So, like I said, it's just like you chose to have an experience. Everybody's experience definitely ain't the same. Some people have to go through, I don't want to make it, go through a little more because they built for it. Like they say, everybody can't go through the same thing if you don't have those tools to make it through. That wouldn't even really be fair. But, I just had to go through some things just to understand. Be like, okay, not take it personal. Even taking that, don't take it personal. You just understand, like, going through it for a reason. Just be patient. Just stay true to who you are. And don't let it change you. Like I said, I had multiple moments. Not just the one this week, but the one, like I said, when they took me off. Whatchamacallit. Not to even put that on film. But they always listening. But like I said, I was just like, bruh, can I get a break? Because when they repoed my car, I had made a payment. But it was 2 days before we was about to get paid. And I was like, this got to be a test. Because this don't even add up. But, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, had they not repoed my car, I wouldn't have had the money to get my website back. I wouldn't have went on a podcast. I wouldn't be doing this. I wouldn't have been dropping all these TikTok videos that's got my followers up and not care about followers, but my reach. So that bad situation has brought a lot of good, literally, since that day. So, was it really bad or was it a refinement? Was it a push? Because now they got the crazy deals at work. hope it in a week or two. So how did I really lose? You know what I'm saying? So it's just, yeah, you just never know how things are playing out. That's why it's important to stay present, like you said, and just wait. Don't overreact. Just be like, all right, what is this trying to teach me? What is this trying to show me? What's the best that can happen? Stop thinking it's the worst thing and say, what's the best that can happen from here? And sit in that for a second and visualize that instead of all the wrong things that you think finna come from that. That's another way of transmuting. That's the true alchemist, turning that lead into gold. You know, somebody gives you some lead, you transmute this into gold. Go from there.
Transmuting is so beautiful, man. Transmutation. I wish I would have done that a couple months ago when me and my baby mother was going through it. All I kept thinking of was what I wanted to do to get back, or what I wanted to do. Like I wanted my kids, you know, that was the biggest thing.
Yeah.
And now looking back now, you know, hindsight being 2020, I realized I was like, there's so much I could have done to transmute all that, to propel me in the right direction.
Yeah.
But I also learned that I was trying to push it in the direction that it was already going to go anyway, and I was trying to push it the opposite way. It was going to go there regardless. I had to. We were talking about going with the flow, you know, effortless effort, you know, letting things happen as they come. We can fight that river, but it's still going to flow down the waterfall. That's deep.
Yes. For real. Honestly, you should end it on that. Don't fight the flow.
Something I've been learning.
And it's cold.
Yeah, it's cold.
I was gonna say, man, really, you got something? I was gonna say you should end it on that. Let go with the flow. But that's all it really is. Unless you got another question.
I do. I got one more. Just
I ain't
to go
never heard.
ahead
I was just saying.
Just to go ahead and wrap it up. This is something that we did with a few of our other guests, so I want to continue the tradition.
Oh.
And you might have touched on it earlier, but I really want to dive deep into this one. How old are you?
Be 37 Tuesday.
37.
Damn.
Happy early birthday.
Happy early birthday, dog.
Appreciate it.
In your 37 years of life, what is the one thing that you regret the most? Or let's do it like this. It could be something you regret the most. It could be the toughest situation that you didn't think you would get through, the most negative thing you went through, like anything along those lines. What is that situation and how did you get through it? If you're okay with sharing that.
I just overall, I knew I never fit in, trying to fit in, and trying to change myself to impress people that were never going to accept it anyway. Even my homie a couple of weeks ago, I laughed because I saw that in him. But he came to that awareness himself. He was like, man, I was trying to fit in. And they knew I wasn't like them. And I don't know I'm better than them, but I'm not like them. And like we said, it really goes back, it's funny, full circle. You gotta be around people who are like you. Otherwise, you just gonna stick out anyway. They're not gonna accept you. So yeah, I hate that. I don't hate it. It was a learning lesson. But if it was something I wish I could have understood earlier, it was, man, you gotta be you and do what you can to do and be around the people that's like you. And like I said, ain't no wrong. Everything in moderation, time to time, going, showing your presence, being the light, and then just being a better example and not talking so much, just being quiet and being the example. And then people gonna ask you, dang, how did you do that? Like, what did you do to make that change? You know, they gonna come because they gonna want to know, because they got something in them that want to change as well. So just being a better example and not trying to tell people, but show people, literally. Yeah. By just being yourself, and not trying to impress people, because they don't care. They gonna hate. I promise you. And they're gonna see that you're not like them, and that's gonna trigger them. But go with the people that you trigger in a good way, and just be loyal and true to yourself. You know, and don't let nobody change you and take you out of what you are. If you're a truly loving person, don't be around hateful people. Simple as that. You know, that's really literally it. That's it.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
That was beautiful. I love how you touch on the depths of things, but I also love how you simplify it and tie it in together, bro. That was beautiful.
Yeah.
Some real
I appreciate it. I appreciate that.
That was good, man. We can wrap it right there. That was great.
Oh man, I appreciate y'all. I was like, I don't know how this gonna go for me. I was like, I appreciate that. I was just like, hey, but like I said, I know I'm still working on it, so I don't like in places be like, oh, this got to figure it out. I'm mastering it. I ain't got to figure it out on y'all, but we close. You know what I'm saying?
I think the biggest thing that I've been learning is if you're always in that state of self-improvement or always trying to be in that state of mastery, that's the biggest thing right there, because you don't want to get ahead and think, I already mastered it. That's when that's where it stops. That's the stopping point.
Yeah, and I've been at that point, like, man, ain't no more I can learn. I told me that, I swear to people 3 or 4 times, I was like, man, I got these. I was like, oh.
Life came back real quick.
It wasn't even